a tiger, stripes of a zebra, built like steel, slight weakness for divas, crying like a soldier, 100 men strong. Then why is it that I'm still being slept on? Not down, but never out. I hit the canvas, but I never seen more than an 8 count. I ain't trying to rewrite history, maybe pin me a chapter, 2 or 3 boys go on, so let's sleep the dogs. I am ready for war, no fear in my eyes. I'm a true warrior, soldiers don't die, cause we're unstoppable, baby. Unstoppable, yeah.
Does it have the legs? You bet it does!
Baloo dives and he made the catch! Swing and a miss, he struck him out, and Auburn wins the game.
You boys gonna learn something you love, not something you feel, cause true warriors break the man's down, cause we're unstoppable, baby. Unstoppable, yeah.
The Beavers are the national champions! Third time in the modern era.
Big-time moments as they cling to Pac-12. Manager Grover Larnach.
Look at Omaha. Here come the Beavers once again.
Coming up. Feel the rush. Feel the rush.
Just outside of downtown Dallas from Arlington, Texas, it's the M&G Bank College Baseball Series presented by Kubota. Tonight is the nightcap of our doubleheader from Globe Life Field as the Auburn Tigers take on the 9th-ranked Oregon State Beavers. It's the first meeting between these two programs in 3 years, having last played in the Corvallis Super Regional in 2022, and we're looking forward to what amounts to be a great matchup here tonight. On Flow College alongside Ty Harrington, I'm Brant Freeman, and again, both teams won yesterday. Let's start with Auburn. Ty, the Tigers look dominant in a 13-0 run rule over Ohio State.
Yeah, offensive was a key to that. Obviously, they showed a lot of different ways that they can score the home runs, being able to run the bases. Really impressive offensive day for them. As
for Oregon State, pitching and tremendous defense told the story in their win over Baylor.
Yeah, I mean, they ran power arm after power arm out there, 3 of them in a row, and then obviously, their defense in the middle of the field, and then the great catch in right field. So they showed a lot of different ways that they can beat you last night as well.
We now take a look at the batting order for the Beavers, presented by M&G Bank. Oregon State put up 4 runs on the board in their 4-3 win over Baylor last night. Leading off for the Beavers, Trent Carraway, followed by Iva Arquette, then Tice Peterson. Middle third of the order, Gavin Turley, Jacob Craig, and Wilson Weber. And the bottom third for Ohio State, Cannon Reeder, A.J. Singer, and Easton Tall, who made that great catch and right last night for Oregon State. And the pitcher they're facing tonight is Cade Fisher on the mound for the Auburn Tigers, a first-year transfer from Florida. A couple of years ago was a freshman All-American pitching for the Gators, making his second start of the season. His numbers in his first start against Holy Cross. In his only other appearance this year, 3 1/3 innings. And how about the strikeout numbers? 5 of them in that outing against Holy Cross with 3 walks given up.
Well, I think they'd like to see Cole Fisher come down with those walks in that 3 innings, but you're right about the punch-outs being 5. That is impressive, and it's going to be exciting and fun to watch him, and not a ton of work under his belt going into tonight's game.
Now we take a look at the Auburn defense here tonight for head coach Butch Thompson. In the outfield for Auburn, Cade Ballou, then Bristol Carter in center. Bub Terrell is in right for Auburn. Infield defense for the Tigers, Eric Snow, Derek Fabian on the left side. At second base, Chris Rembert. At first, Cooper McMurray. And the catcher for the Tigers is Ike Irish. The head coach for the Auburn Tigers, Butch Thompson, picked up career win number 292 in the victory over Ohio State yesterday in his 10th season out. Auburn has taken this program to the NCAA tournament 5 times over the past 7 seasons.
Yeah, I tell you what, he was a tremendous assistant coach, recruiter early in his career, and has become one of the top head coaches, not only in the SEC, but in the country.
The head coach for the Beavers, a man synonymous with success in Corvallis, Mitch Canham, in his 6th season at Oregon State, and again a former player for the Beavers as well, part of back-to-back national championships for Oregon State back in the mid-2000s.
He's familiar in Corvallis. Let's just say that. I mean, I just love the idea where tradition hangs in there. They've hired their own and part of building something that they have, and now he gets to continue it.
Leadoff man for the Beavers, Trent Caraway. Oregon State last night snapped a 2-game losing streak with a 4-3 win over Baylor. Talked about it at the top. Pitching was excellent for the Beavers last night, especially the bullpen, the combo of Eric Segura and Matthew Morrell. No earned runs given up in 5 innings and just 1 hit. Caraway steps in. A swing and a miss starts the game against Cade Fisher. Caraway 1 for 4 with a run scored against Baylor last night. That hit and run came in the 1st inning. Was driven home on the 2-run single by Gavin Turley. 0-2 from Fisher. Fastball high and out of the zone for ball 1. Caraway's opened up this season on an 8-game hitting streak for the 6-2 Oregon State Beavers. Already 14 hits through the first 8 games of the year. Here he strikes out on a breaking ball. Good pitch from Fisher for the first out of the game.
Yeah, that's a great pitch. And again, you get a look at Fisher. It's a 3/4 arm action from the left side. That breaking ball starts off the plate and just comes crashing back in to the corner of it and grabs it.
And now the star shortstop for Oregon State, Iva Arquette. Had a relatively quiet game last night. Saw a 7-game hitting streak come to an end. As a sinker misses high for ball 1. 0 for 3 with a walk and a run scored against Baylor. That changeup caught the inner part of the strike zone. It's 1 ball, 1 strike to Arquette. Swing and a miss. 1-2.
Yeah, to get a good look at that life up in the strike zone with his fastball. Similar to a lot of guys we've seen in this tournament so far. The last 6 feet of that ball is really good. And they understand and know how to climb it up to the top of the strike zone and get you to swing underneath it.
The 1-2 to Arquette. Lays off. Pitch way out of the zone there from Fisher. Breaking ball that just misses, fills the count of 3-2. Cade Fisher hailing from a very athletic family. Dad played college football at Mars Hill. Mom is, in fact, a member of the Tennessee Tech Hall of Fame as a women's basketball player. His brother, Ty Fisher, a former pitcher in the Sun Belt Conference at Georgia Southern. A one-out walk to Arquette. And that'll bring up Tice Peterson.
I'll tell you what, that's a good at-bat. Arquette taking the 2-2 pitch just off the edge. Tried to throw that backdoor breaker. Didn't make it back in time, and then that time, fastball in as he earns a walk. Now the Beavers have a runner on with 1 out.
Fisher, a tremendous high school pitcher. In fact, he holds the Georgia State record for a career ERA of 0.71. Averaged more than 17 strikeouts per 9 innings.
Yeah, that's unfair. That is. That's. I don't know what division it is in high school, and it doesn't matter. When you're putting up those kinds of numbers.
In his 3rd year now in the SEC, 2 years in Gainesville. Now his first year at Auburn.
I remember his brother at Georgia Southern. Played for Rodney Hennon.
Fouled away by Peterson. Was 1 for 4 last night for the Beavers with a double and a run scored in the win over Baylor. The 0-2. Swing and a miss. Got him on an elevated pitch. Peterson down on strikes. That's the second strikeout for Fisher.
Good late life four-seamer up in the strike zone right at the top of the mask of the catcher. You see it, you think you can get to it, and it just explodes right as it gets out in front of you.
Runner on, 2 out for Gavin Turley. Delivered a 2-run single the first inning last night. The first pitch is high for ball 1. The 2-run single giving Turley now 9 RBI in the year. Has 7 runs batted in an opening weekend.
See a lot of foul balls straight back like that. That just, when you watch enough of it, you see enough games, that just tells you they're having a hard time getting to the middle and the top of the baseball. And oftentimes can be an indication of just what kind of life is on the pitcher's fastball. And Fisher right now, fastball's been his best pitch up in the strike zone.
The 1-2. Swing and a miss. Another pitch high in the zone, chased by the Beavers, and Fisher strikes out 3 in the inning. Caraway, Peterson, Turley all down on strikes. Good stuff from Cade Fisher to start this game. The 3 punch-outs carries us into the bottom of the first. The Tigers coming to bat for the first time. Scoreless here from Arlington. We're back after this on Flow College.
Possibility. At Shriners Children's, we deliver healing to kids with critical burn injuries, like game-changing advances in regenerative medicine and creating the highest standard of care. We never allow your ability to pay for services to compromise the care your child needs, proving time and again what's possible by empowering the extraordinary. Shriners Children's, the most amazing care anywhere.
Possible Missions and their dedicated Amegy business banker work together to put the us in business banking by sharing the same values both in the office and out in the community. Now it's your turn with your own dedicated Amegy business banker with banking experience in your industry, because you're more than a customer. We're more than a bank, and together we'll help put your business on solid financial footing with comprehensive financing options, earned interest on your accounts, and yes, by being a true community partner. Here we collaborate. Here you grow.
Now we'll look at the batting order for the Auburn Tigers, presented by Amegy Bank. Leading off for Auburn, Eric Snow, followed by Cade Ballou and Ike Irish. Cooper McMurray, Derek Fabian, Bub Terrell in the middle third of the order. Bottom third for Auburn, Chris Rebert, Chase Freilich, and Bristol Carter. Now the pitcher they're facing tonight, Dax Whitney, on the mound tonight for Oregon State. Whitney, a big, tall freshman righty, 6'5" and over 200 pounds. Making his third start of the season, 14 strikeouts and more than 8 innings of work.
How about that?
This pitch hit in the air to right. And Talt makes the catch near the line. That'll retire Eric Snow and one away in the bottom of the first. A look at the defense for Oregon State. Turley, Reeder, and Taldu made that incredible catch last night in the outfield. Caraway, Arquette, left side of the infield defense. Singer and Craig on the rights. And the catcher for a second straight night, Wilson Weber for Oregon State. Now to the plate, Cade Ballou. Whitney was absolutely brilliant in his first career start 2 weeks ago against UNLV. 5 scoreless innings and struck out 8 in a victory over the Rebels.
Well, his first 3 fastballs were 95, 1 touch 96. So there's the beginning of the explanation of why he was so good. That is a 6'5" frame, throwing BBs in there. And then he just all of a sudden, with great arm speed and hand speed, throws that slider in there. First time you see him, that's got to be hard on those hitters.
The 1-2. And Ballou checks his swing on the appeal down to third.
Say, I thought the pitch was close to being a strike. I don't know. I mean, I told you before, check swing's the most discussed call in baseball. I mean, discussed mean by both sides talking about it and yelling about it.
Got him looking on the breaking ball. First strikeout for Whitney. Ballou goes down looking, and now there's 2 outs.
Well, I don't blame Ballou on this. This is you're sitting in a full count, think he's going to throw a 95 in the middle of the plate to try to throw a strike, and he throws a breaker off the plate that comes roaring back in and catches the corner. That's a tough pitch.
2 up and 2 down for Whitney. Brings up Ike Irish. Fouls off the first pitch. Whitney's last start came against Oklahoma last week. Took the loss, giving up 4 earned runs and 3 1/3 against the Sooners. So a second straight start against an SEC opponents. As Irish fouls off another one.
Let me tell you what, Skip Johnson's got those Oklahoma Sooners playing well, too. They won again today. And he's got a really athletic club and a lot of depth on the mound.
Swing and a miss. Back-to-back strikeouts for Whitney. And that'll do it for the Tigers in the first inning. A couple of punch outs for Whitney in the first, and we go to the second. Beavers and Tigers scoreless here in Arlington.
The very best equipment. Kubota equipment. The #1 selling compact tractor in the U.S. with professional grade mowers, versatile sidekick utility vehicles, and compact tractors that get it done right. All backed by unmatched dealer support. Talk to your dealer today to schedule a demo.
Elevate your ballpark experience with a tour of Globe Life Field and experience the home of the Texas Rangers like never before. Go behind the scenes and explore premium spaces, unique club settings, luxury suites, and more. Along the way, you'll discover rich history, impressive architecture, and fun photo opportunities around every corner. Globe Life Field's many tour offerings are sure to take your ballpark visit to the next level. For more information and to book your experience, visit globelifefield.com.
Some really good pitching in the first inning between Cade Fisher and Dax Whitney. Fisher 3 strikeouts, Whitney a pair of his own. as we head to the top of the second in a scoreless game here from Globe Life Field. Of course, Tigers got excellent pitching yesterday in the win over Ohio State. Starter Samuel Dutton, absolutely terrific for Auburn. 6 scoreless innings, only 2 hits given up, and struck out 9. The 0-1 pitch. This is a strike zone. It evens the count at 1-1.
Yeah, I thought Dutton was so comfortable in his delivery, his mindset. He was at ease, confident. I mean, he was just, everything he threw was with a purpose.
That ball smacked to left field at a base hit for Jacob Craig. He's had a really good stay in Arlington so far. That's his 3rd hit of the weekend.
Yeah, Breaker comes back to the middle of the plate. He does a good job of lining it up with his barrel, driving it out to left center for a base hit.
Leadoff man is on for the Beavers to start the seconds. And that'll bring up the catcher, Wilson Weber. 0 for 3 with a strikeout last night in the win over Baylor. Cut on and miss for strike 1. Leadoff man for the Beavers reached just once yesterday against the Bears. And that was Caraway in the 1st inning. On the ground is second. Remberts, Fabian, McMurray.
Wow, there's so many things in this play that are fun. The first part of it is Rembert doing a good job of fielding the ball first. And then he's like a quarterback on this, Brant. When I know we're going to get a replay of this, he leads Fabian to the bag, and then he catches it on the run, showing off his athleticism. That's a lot of fun to watch. Field it first, and then watch it. Leads him right to the bag, throws on the run. Perfect execution.
That pitch drilled deep to left field. Cannon Reader has gone deep. And the Beavers strike first against Auburn.
He catches a fastball and at 100, almost 109 off his bat. I mean, that ball got out in a hurry. Right in there, middle in, elevated. Got the barrel flush to it. Tell you what, he absolutely hammered that ball.
The second home run of the weekend for the Beavers. The other was Jacob Craig last night against Baylor. And now A.J. Singer bats for the Beavers.
And look, I mean, one pitch right out of the double play. He lines up a fastball and gets it, ambushes it, guesses it. They're probably looking for a fastball, got it, and delivered the barrel to it.
2-0 to Singer. And a changeup in there for a strike. That ball smoked to left field. That's down for a hit. The 3rd hit of the inning for the Beavers against Kate Fisher.
So much balance in this Beaver lineup. He does a good job. He strides out, recognizes it's a breaker, keeps his hands back, and puts a good swing on it.
Brings up Easton Talt, who made the play of the weekend last night. Rob Pearson Reebok of a homer. And what wound up being a 1-run victory for Oregon State.
Well, he'll always remember it. You'll always remember it. And just about anybody that was in the ballpark last night is going to remember that catch.
Fisher's 0-1. Nice pick by Irish. That'll keep Singer at first base. After Tall, the top of the order due up for Oregon State. Lays off a tempting changeup there. Another changeup that misses, this time high. 3-1 to Tall. Looking to reach base for the first time this weekend. Was hitless last night against Baylor. And a time is called by Auburn. Talt at the plate with a 3-1 count, but again last night an incredible catch, robbing Reebok of a homer.
He ran so far to go get it, climbs up the wall, and you can see how fired up he was when he caught it. And I mean, look how high above his glove, above the fence, and athletic enough, conscious enough to catch it up against the fence and hold on to it and bring it back into the field of play.
After the timeout call by Everett Tieford, Fisher back to work here against Tall. Swing at a foul tip strike, fills the count at 3-2.
Now the runner's going to be off on the pitch. And a full count, 2 out. And Auburn's going to move over to a little more shift defense.
And Tall draws a walk. Second walk of the game given up by Fisher. And 4 of the first 5 batters have reached for the Beavers here in the second. Two on, 2 out, back to the top of the order for Mitch Canham's team. Trent Caraway comes up here for Oregon State. Lays off the first pitch for ball 1. Baseball America naming Caraway as a preseason All-American. The sophomore at Dana Point, California. Takes another pitch. It's a good play by McMurray to field that throw from Irish. Count now 2-0.
Yeah, I mean, that would have gotten to the right field. I don't know that he'd have been able to score from second because he'd gone all the way back. Singer had gone all the way back to second base.
3 balls and no strikes. And right now Fisher having troubles locating the strike zone.
Well, he had the 3 walks in the 3 innings coming into tonight's game. First inning was definitely not any indication of it because his command was really good.
Swinging on 3-0, fouls it away.
Yeah, I mean, look, you got runners in scoring position. You're in the top of your order. You trust these guys, these types of hitters. They're looking for one spot for that ball to fall in. They're geared up for a heater.
And that'll load the bases for Iva Arquette. Back-to-back walks surrendered. Bases loaded now with 2 out.
I got to think that's got to get Auburn's bullpen moving around a little bit. It's going to do more than get it moving.
Another visit from Everett Tieford.
That's going to be it. They're going to make a move.
And that's it for Kate Fisher. Had that great first inning, but a troublesome second. 2 walks, 3 hits given up in the inning. And Auburn is going to the bullpen. Cam Tilley into the game now for Auburn, and we will step aside. Bases full of Beavers, 2 outs in the second with Oregon State on top, 1-0 here in Arlington. Oregon State on top 1-0 is still batting here in the second inning. And the big hit came early in the frame courtesy of Cannon Reeder with a solo home run.
Yeah, I mean, look, it was like 109 off the bat. It's an aggressive barrel move. He clipped every piece of it.
The Beavers' second home run of the weekend. That's now Auburn turns to Cam Tilley. In his second year with this Auburn program. Got the win of the season opener against Holy Cross. Really good stuff in relief against Troy in a midweek game. 7 strikeouts and 3 innings against the Trojans out of the Sun Belt Conference. Former member of Team USA's under-18 national team. Winning a gold medal with them at the Baseball World Cup. And inherits a tough situation here. Bases full and facing Iva Arquette.
Yeah, that's not ideal. But you got to remember as the pitcher that you're 1 pitch away from getting out of what is considered a mess right now with the bases loaded, particularly with Arquette coming up. I'm curious, is he going to get after him with a secondary pitch, first pitch right out of the box? And he does. And you got to be able to execute that. When you come out of the bullpen, and more times than not, you're coming out of the bullpen with runners on. You have to be able to connect and execute on your secondary pitches.
The 0-1. Bounces away from Irish. And Singer comes home to score to make it 2-0.
Well, he definitely didn't execute this one. Looked like another breaker, maybe a bigger breaker. Got away from him. Irish not able to get over there in time to block it. That ball hit the dirt, already spinning right to left, and then just took off.
Wild pitch makes it 2-zip. All the runners advance. Singer scores. Talton out of third and Caraway to seconds. And a count even to Arquette. Swing and a miss. 1-2.
Man, you talking about a breaker playing hide and seek. That thing was in the hitting area, then just disappeared.
That time blocked by Irish. Big numbers this year for Arquette with runners in scoring position, batting .455. Has a big RBI opportunity here.
Well, Tilly, after he threw the one breaker that got away, the Irish couldn't get to, trust him enough to go right back to a Barry breaker in the dirt. The Irish does come up with a block.
2-2 pitch, swing and a miss. Big strikeout there for Cam Tilly, and the Beavers strand 2. But Oregon State strikes for a pair. On top of the Auburn Tigers, 2-0 as we head to the bottom of the second.
First, at Shriners Children's, the world's most advanced scoliosis procedures are born here. In fact, we deliver access to the world's best doctors for nearly every pediatric orthopedic condition. We're delivering care without compromise is our promise. And kids can just be kids. Because being first always starts with empowering the extraordinary. Shriners Children's, the most amazing care anywhere.
There's an old saying, everything's bigger in Texas. Well, let's just say, IndyCar is about to go to a whole nother level. Get ready, Arlington. This is where history is made, and champions are born.
Now time for a coach's interview presented by Amegy Bank. We're joined by Oregon State head coach Mitch Cannon with his Beavers on top 2-0. Coach, you talked a lot about it last night, more this evening. That catch by Easton out in the outfield last night, Easton Tall. Take us back to that play.
Well, he's an extremely gifted athlete, and that guy can cover some ground. Came in as like a catcher, moving him out there, let him free up his legs. You know, you always want a left-handed hitting catcher that can run like that, so we gave it a go, but he did it. He did it last week, took a homer away, and that one yesterday, just the excitement it brought each and every guy in here, the adrenaline that was pumping. Shoot, he threw the ball in about 108 miles an hour, so we might have to try him on the bump too.
Coach, I got to tell you, it was an impressive win last night, a great baseball game, a great college game last night, but sitting up here watching the three arms you ran out there, three different types of power, but all three power arms. I mean, those were good-looking arms you ran out there.
Yeah, it's excited to see Segura and Keljo kind of piggybacking one another, just how they feed off each other, and they're hanging out with each other more and more too, talking pitching, talking how to get guys out. And then Matty Moe, the development he's had from last year coming in to right now, watching him walk in that clubhouse as a sophomore and fill up the zone. I mean, that was one thing. You got Joey Munt sitting down there ready to close out games, but Matty Moe was pummeling the zone, great part of the order for him, and that was just a big moment for him to know that he can do it and for him to realize how much we trust him out there on the mound.
You know, in line with the great pitching and the power pitching you had last night, I got to be honest, as an old infield coach and infielder myself, watching those two guys in the middle, that's pretty special, watching your shortstop Arquette and Singer in the middle handle the baseball.
It is fun. Those two guys provide a ton of energy. They're phenomenal human beings. And I always say, watch those two play, and you could tell they love the game of baseball, they love their teammates, and they want to win more than anything.
Hey, Coach, speaking of arms, what have you seen from Dax Whitney this season?
Well, that's a big pitch right there. You know, his first outing, he came out there big time. I mean, he's got great stuff. We know that. And he's continued to find ways to get it better and better. Sharpening up his breaking ball, landing it often, having it, you know, to use to finish guys up as well. Sometimes you fall in love because you're sitting there throwing 97 with some good ride and a little bit of cut. But being able to land that breaking ball, and even how he finished last inning, throwing his changeup to strike the last hitter out, was incredible. Now he's starting to trust that and use that in the game.
Thanks, Coach. Good luck the rest of the night.
Thank you, guys. Go Beavs.
That again, Beavers head coach Mitch Canham joining us. Whitney struck out McMurray, but ball got away from Weber. And McMurray now at first base. Nobody out for Derek Fabian. Ahead is Whitney 2-0.
Kind of disappointed. Coach didn't say cheers, go Beavs tonight. Last night, I thought that was awesome. I loved it.
I seem to recall when we visited with McMurray yesterday, he ended our post-game interview with a War Eagle.
Oh, yeah. They're all proud of their schools.
And Fabian walks on 4 pitches. And the first 2 have reached for Auburn here in the second.
Yeah, and he gets the strikeout to McMurray, but he gets away from Weber on that breaker, that really tight, hard breaker, and they weren't able to block it. And then goes out in 4 straight pitches out of the zone, and really only one of them close. But when you've got this kind of electric stuff, still you have to make pitches.
Ground ball knocked down by Craig. Only play he has is at first. Able to make it for the first out of the inning, but that will advance both runners now to second and third.
Yeah, and that's going to act like a sac bunt, even though he wasn't doing it. But Craig went to his knees and fields his ball, and I don't know if he didn't come up with a grip after he fielded it, trying to go just a second to get the lead run and then leave a force with runners at first and third and a possible double play, but maybe didn't come up with a grip, went ahead and took an out at first base.
Brings up Chris Rembert. Another one of those talented freshman bats in the order for Auburn. Drove in a run in yesterday's 13-0 run rule over Ohio State. The run rule victory, the 3rd of the season for the Tigers, and their eighth win in a row. And during the winning streak, they've outscored the opposition 86-27. Two balls and a strike. Swung on to right field, and that's going to shoot foul.
Well, we'll see. Coach Canham was talking about a changeup that he finished the first inning with. But as you go to that hard breaker, he would love to get a swing and miss strikeout.
And time called by Rembert.
You know, what those pitchers can do, if they get set up early enough, Brant, they can see the clock behind home plate. They know how much time they have, so they can make the hitter use a timeout. If they want to sit there and hold the ball, they know they've got 2 seconds left, 3 seconds left to deliver the pitch.
The 2-2. Fouled away again. Rembert, a freshman from Pensacola, Florida. Brother also played D1 baseball at Oregon State out of the SWAC. Two pitch aside to fill the count.
You know, it's an interesting time in the game. You got a base open. You get a full count. You got runners on second and third. You just don't want to lay one in there. I'm curious to see what he's going to go with.
Swung on. There's a drive out towards left center field. And that is off the bottom of the wall. That'll score a couple of runs and tie the game. In fact, it bounces over into the bullpen for a ground rule double. 2-run score, and now we're tied 2-2.
You always want to answer back. The bounce back inning. You'll hear coaches talk about it all the time as we get a chance to see Riker. He grabs that slider in the middle of the plate. Didn't miss it. See why he's such a highly touted young player, showing off his power. But you always want to answer back, and Auburn certainly has.
Big 2-run ground rule double from Chris Remmertz. And again, ties these freshman batters coming through for Auburn. Another one coming up now in Chase Fralick. Fralick had 3 hits yesterday, drove in a pair against Ohio State. First pitch in there for a strike from Whitney. And for each team of the second inning, the bottom part of the order coming through. One ball, one strike. Fralick among the nation's top freshman hitters this year.
Both pitchers struggling to get through that second inning. Electric stuff, almost 1, 2, 3. I guess there was a base runner in the first, but just 1, 2, 3, or 3 strikeouts. And
in the air to left. Turley backing on it, and has it for the second out of the inning.
You come out sometimes, Brant, early in the game, you're amped. The fastball's got a little bit more carry to it. Breaker's a little tighter, shorter.
Throw back to seconds, and Rembert safe.
And then sometimes you come back out in the second inning and not quite as, you're not as amped up, and other teams a little more patient. Command's been part of it for both pitchers that went out.
0-1 pitch, cut on and miss, runs the count 0-2.
Man, that's a mean slider. He gets that thing started in the hitting area first, and then it just runs and hides from those right-handed hitters. And he throws so hard that you got to start that barrel sooner and earlier. Look up 2 years from now, this guy's going to be throwing 100 with 89, 90-mile-an-hour sliders.
Block of the dirt by Weber. Whitney was the #1 ranked prospect in the state of Idaho coming out of high school, was that state's player of the year a year ago, back in 2024. Making his third start as a Beaver here tonight. The 1-2 on the ground of the second baseman. Singer vacuums it up, throws over to Craig at first base to end the inning. But Chris Remmer with a 2-run ground rule double has tied the game at 2. Big swing for the freshman out of Auburn. And with this swing, we've got a brand new game. 2-2 from Arlington. We head to the third inning. Back after this from Globe Life Field at Arlington on Flow College.
Bowman Engineering and Consulting and their dedicated Amegy business banker worked together to put the us in business banking, which included the occasional lunch meeting. Now it's your turn with your own dedicated Amegy business banker with banking experience in your industry, because you're more than a customer. We're more than a bank, and together we'll help put your business on solid financial footing with comprehensive financing options, earned interest on your accounts, and yes, planning sessions whenever you need them. Here we collaborate. Here you grow.
Arlington, the Renegades are going full throttle this spring when the UFL returns.
What a catch!
Get ready for more action-packed football and unforgettable experiences at Choctaw Stadium.
That is something special right there.
Renegades, mount up and get your tickets today.
All 3 weekends of college baseball here at Globe Life Field benefit Shriners Children's with a portion of ticket sales going to a worthy cause that is dedicated to improving the lives of children around the world. To donate, scan the QR code on your screen or visit globelifefield.com/college baseball. Each team a 2 spot in the seconds. The Auburn Tigers, a big 2-run ground rule double hit by Chris Remberts. Now we go to the top of the 3rd. Heart of the order batting for the Beavers. Hitters 3, 4, and 5. Peterson, Turley, and Craig. And this is second inning of relief for Cam Tilley. Starter for the Tigers, Cade Fisher, could not escape the second. Wind up going an inning and 2/3. The issue was the walks. He gave up 3 of them. 2-0. That's grounded foul by Peterson.
It's a good looking 2-seamer. We've seen a lot of breakers out of him when he came into the jam. And you can see on that picture right there just how late that breaker is. I mean, it gets the dirt and just wham, starts running downhill, but fastball's got good action to it too.
And Peterson did not offer.
It's a good job of laying off. There's a lot of people that would have offered at it.
Take strike 3. Back-to-back strikeouts for Tilley, and 1 away in the 3rd. Peterson down on strikes for a second time.
It's just a tough breaker. Laid off the one before, goes back to it again, clips the outer half.
Fifth strikeout for Tiger pitching tonight. Now Gavin Turley. Strike 1. Big home run numbers from Turley a year ago. Hit 19 of them for Oregon State. 5 of them grand slams. As it drove in 74 a year ago. And Turley goes around and strikes out. Tilley got him on 3 pitches. 2 outs here in the 3rd.
Well, you can see why he loves this breaker. I mean, it's hard. I mean, it gets to the dirt area, and I mean, it just starts going away from him in a hurry. Can't hold that barrel back. It is a tough slider, slur, breaker, whatever you want to call it.
Out of the plate, Jacob Craig singled back in the 2nd inning.
And again, he's backing it up with a 92, 94 mile an hour fastball.
Tilley has retired all 3 he has faced since coming into the game in the 2nd. All 3 outs, the strikeout for Tilley. Sophomore from Newburgh, Indiana. On the other half, that'll fill the count of 3-2.
Yeah, Craig was looking for a fastball. I don't blame him. I'd have gone in there hunting it 2 in a 3-1 count. He came back with another slider.
In the air, deep right center field, at the track, at the wall, and it's gone. Jacob Craig goes deep for Oregon State, his second home run of the weekend.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is a professional at-bat. Ball away, heater away. Looking out that way, I mean, just clobbers it to right center field gap for a homer. Laid off the slider before. I mean, that is a professional at-bat.
The second home run tonight for Oregon State.
And a pinch hitter.
It's Bryce Hubbard pinch hitting for Wilson Weber.
You know, Craig went up there on that 3-1 pitch. I told you I thought he was looking for a heater, and I don't blame him. I would have too. He didn't get it. He took it. Didn't just, you know, put the ball in play or take a bad swing on 3-1. Held back. And then they go back to the fastball. And I don't blame him. I mean, it's a great idea because you just throw him a 3-1 slider. He just takes it the other way.
Swing and a miss. 4th strikeout for Tilley. And that'll do it for the Beavers in the 3rd. Jacob Craig, a solo home run, has put Oregon State back on top 3-2 over Auburn.
Resilience. At Shriners Children's, we're leaders in pediatric sports medicine. With expertise in sprains, tears, fractures, and other sports-related injuries. We're here to deliver the best care in the business and never allow your ability to pay for services to compromise the care your child needs. Because every great comeback starts with a game plan for empowering the extraordinary. Shriners Children's, the most amazing care anywhere.
Naylor Industries and their dedicated Amegy business banker work together to put the us in business banking, focusing on their business needs with lightning speed. Now it's your turn with your own dedicated Amegy business banker with banking experience in your industry. Because you're more than a customer, we're more than a bank, and together we'll help put your business on solid financial footing with comprehensive financing options, earned interest on your accounts, and yes, a banking partner who is just as invested in your growth as you are. Here we collaborate. Here you grow.
Time now for a coach's interview presented by Amegy Bank. We're joined by Auburn head coach Butch Thompson. Coach, you brought it up at the top of the broadcast. These two programs meeting for the first time in 3 years. The last time you played Oregon State was that incredible Super Regional back in 2022. What do you remember about that series?
Just that Oregon State had never lost one, and what a great program, and it's just so nice to play Mitch and his team again. That was special for our program at the time, but you can just see it in the Oregon State players how proud of their tradition of their program they are.
You know, Coach, in the era of the portal, NIL, and so many different things, but mainly the portal, throughout the first 3 weeks of this season, I have not seen many lineups with 3 freshmen in it. and yet you have chosen to go that route. Now, obviously, they're incredibly talented. Tell us about your reasoning or why you chose. Other guys aren't. They're going with older guys.
Yeah, we're trying to get best available players that fit us. And, these are three guys that are playing and contributing right away for us. And, they went in the top 20 rounds of the professional draft. And I think we were still a program that felt like if we can get that type of player, high school, whatever age he is, we got to get him. And we're thankful we did.
Coach, yesterday you started off this tournament with a run rule victory over Ohio State, but I thought the story of the game, not necessarily your offense, but the pitching of Sam Dutton. What did you see from him yesterday?
Well, I saw about 72% strikes. That's a good place. And even when we had the 8 runs in the second inning for my guys and for maybe guys at home, he kept to the same pitch plan in the third inning. He didn't just start going 8 out of 10 pitches fastballs because these guys can hit too much. I think Ohio State had scored about 56 runs in 5 games. So he stuck to the pitch plan and had 3 or 4 pitches landing consistently.
Thanks, Coach. Good luck the rest of the night.
Thank you.
Oregon Auburn head coach Butch Thompson joining us. His Tigers batting here in the bottom of the third with the top of the order. Up now for Auburn, Eric Snow leading off in the inning against Dax Whitney. One-two pitch fouled away. Snow 0 for 1 tonight with a fly out. The Tigers' third baseman, junior out of Forsyth, Georgia. Talked about the win over the Buckeyes. Snow reached base 4 times yesterday against Ohio State. Count runs even to 2-2.
Board up there, ribbon board said that was a sinker. That ball acted more like a changeup to me.
The Tigers have been one of the top offenses in the country to start the year. Top 20 nationally in batting average, slugging, and runs scored. Already closing in on 100 runs this season through 10+ games.
Well, they just had to throttle down yesterday. I mean, like they had their foot on the accelerator from the first at-bat of the game till the last.
They jumped all over the Ohio State starter in the second inning yesterday. As that pitch misses outside, fills the count of 3-2. An 8-run second inning for the Tigers in that win over Ohio State. Full count pitch. On the ground to A.J. Singer. And 1 away here in the third.
Singer making it look easy. He closed out the inning before with a tough play that he made look effortless. A ball, when it goes from the dirt to the turf, visually it can be, different for those defenders. They don't know if it's going to hit that turf line or what it's going to be like. It was a good job of watching his glove, staying with it, making the play.
Now Cade Ballou. And the first pitch in there, the breaking ball for a strike. Ballou struck out against Whitney back in the first inning. A couple of hits to include a double yesterday against Ohio State. And that bounces foul. Ballou, a member of the SEC's all-freshman team back in 2024. A .284 hitter in his first year at Auburn. Hit 8 home runs this past season. Fouls off another pitch.
You know, David Murphy joined us last night during the Baylor game. Great college player, great Texas Ranger, works for the Rangers now in broadcast, and he talked about how he thought originally this was a pitcher's ballpark, but how it's become a little bit more of an offensive ballpark. And these college hitters, they got a metal bat in their hand, but it's been a lot of extra base hits, a lot of doubles and dingers this weekend so far. And this is just game 4.
You remember opening weekend here, Shriners Children's in that tournament. A lot of crooked number innings that weekend. Swing and a miss. Blew down on strikes for a second time. 4th strikeout for Whitney. And 2 away to 3rd.
Slider in on his hands. Like a cutter. It went from side to side action on it. Didn't have any depth to it. Got a swing and miss out of it.
Feels like Whitney has settled back in since giving up that ground rule double.
Yeah, and I mean, it was command that, you know, got him into a little bit of a pickle in the second. And, you know, they weren't huge misses. Got into the full count and threw a get me over slider. Make sure you know, when I say get me over, a strike slider instead of what that would have been like a wipeout slider like there to a right hand here, what you just saw. But you know, full count, you don't want to walk another guy.
Swings on 3-0. Headed towards the gap in left center field, and that is off the wall. Just missed a home run. Irish on his way to 3rd. Here's a throw, and it's not in time. Irish with a 2-out triple, and the tying run now 90 feet away.
A couple things out of this. You're talking about the count. He gets in a heater count. Fastball in the middle. That's a foot away, Brant, from going out of the ballpark. That just almost knocked a hole in the fence in left center. That's a good swing on a ball in the middle of the plate. Shows off his power. I mean, it didn't miss going out of here by much.
Hit the top of the yellow line. Now McMurray.
Whitney saved a run. He went over where he's supposed to. He went to 3rd base to back up 3rd from the relay, double relay throw. Got past the 3rd baseman, Caraway, and he had to knock it down.
Second triple of the year for Auburn. And it comes with 2 outs here in the 3rd inning. Batter here, McMurray, had one of the big hits for Auburn yesterday in that 8-run second, a bases clearing double against the Buckeyes. 2-1 pitch. Slider, that's too high, 3-1. And the pitch. A walk to McMurray. Second walk of the game given up by Whitney. And Auburn's got something brewing here with 2 outs.
Yeah, they do. They need to answer back, and with 2 outs, they're going to get a chance. They got runners on 1st and 3rd now. Oregon State Coach is going to take a slow walk out to the mound. It's going to just allow the bullpen to start moving around, stretching, get their bodies ready in case they're called upon. Also, he's going to get out there and he's going to talk about the first and third defense that they're going to run out there right now with 2 outs.
Auburn threatening here the third, 2 on, 2 down. Take you back to yesterday and that offensive inning for the Auburn Tigers. 8 runs scoring in the second inning for Auburn. Big offensive day for the Tigers against Ohio State.
Oh, it sounds like somebody's hitting the nail with a hammer. A bing, bing, one right after another.
You look back at the numbers, 8 of the 9 players with a hit, 7 of 9 driving in a run, 13 hits, 7 walks for Auburn. 5th straight game for the Tigers with 13 hits or more. Had exactly 13 yesterday. Fabian batting with 2 on. Swing and a miss for strike 1. Fabian, one of the Tigers' top hitters with 2 outs, batting .462 with 2 outs this season. 1 ball, 1 strike.
You know what's interesting about Whitney is it's a cut. He cuts his fastball. And still, a 4-seamer that he's cutting is 95, 96 miles an hour. I mean, that's not a backspin rotation.
That gets away from Hubbard, and that will tie the game. Irish scores from third. McMurray is second base, and it's 3-3.
We're going to look at it. I thought he caught him on the foot. Oh, on the kneecap. I'm sorry. On his foot. He's on the knee. It was right off his shin guard of his right knee. This explains why it bounced so far away from him.
Bryce Hubbard, newly into the game, replacing Wilson Weber at catcher. That scored as a wild pitch. And the 2-1. That's down at 96 miles an hour. 3 balls and a strike. Count fills 3-2.
Long counts. Auburn's been able to generate long counts, long at bats.
Full count pitch, swing and a miss. That'll end the inning, but again, the Tigers have clawed back to tie the game. A big 2-out triple by Ike Irish, able to come across home plate, and now we're tied at 3.
Protecting what matters most is the mission that matters most. At Lockheed Martin, we know today's threats come from behind, above, and below, and we make sure those who serve stay ahead of them by connecting platforms necessary to dominate every domain across air, land, sea, space, and cyber, using technologies that protect in the same moment they detect. The mission is a safer, more secure world. Our promise is to help make it happen.
Sometimes you just need a little wonderful in your life. So why not go to a place made for it? Arlington, Texas. It's a city made for fun and excitement and all the things you love to do. And even some things you didn't know you loved until you came here and found them. Come see for yourself why Arlington is a world of wonderful.
Everything you thought you knew is brand new. We on the new wave. This ain't what it was. See, when the game changes, so do we. Every day, every play. Always been greater than 12. Now standing 16 strong. In every end zone. Any time zone. When everyone else keeps asking, what's next? We know. We are.
The Oregon State Beavers out to a 6-2 start this year following their win last night over Baylor. And this is their third tournament already this season. They'll play their first game at home in Corvallis this coming weekend. And this is their second straight year playing at Globe Life Field a year ago. They won 3 of 4. So all-time here Globe Life Field now 4-1. As we head to the top of the 4th inning in a 3-3 game. And the first batter, Cannon Reeder, hit by a pitch.
Not on purpose. Breaker got away from him. Certainly not how you want to come out and hit the leadoff guy with the first pitch, particularly after you guys score to tie the game. But slider pops out of his hand too early. Reeder doesn't get out of the way. Well, look, if you're going to get hit with a pitch, you want to get hit with a breaker and not a barreling in fastball.
Now A.J. Singer for the Beavers. Spoke about this being Oregon State's third tournament. Bunt put down. Tilly fields and will apply the tag for the out on the sacrifice. That'll move Reeder over to second base. The Beavers open up the season in Surprise, Arizona. Won all 4 games. Couple of wins over Xavier. Also beat UNLV and Indiana. Dominant weekend for Oregon State, outscoring those 4 teams 48-9. Last weekend they were in Texas. About 3 hours south of Arlington and Round Rock. With 1-2. And next week at home in Corvallis for a 3-game series against San Diego. Tall facing Tilly for the first time. And takes the first pitch low for ball 1.
You know what? You see, everybody talks about the power that Oregon State has, and they do. They got, a couple guys in the front end of the lineup, middle, that all have a little bit of juice to them, but recognizes he gets a guy on a free pass, a free base. Let's move him up 90 feet with a perfectly executed sacrifice bunt to the right side. Let's give the 9 and 1-hole hitter a chance to drive a run in here.
The 1-0. Now 2 balls and no strikes at all. Top of the order, due next for the Beavers. 3-0. Told hasn't seen a lot of pitches in the strike zone tonight. And takes a fastball in the outer half for strike 1. Bottom third of the order for the Beavers has reached 4 times in this game. As the count feels to 3-2. Again, it tells you about the depth of this batting order for Mitch Canham.
Yeah, it does. I mean, look, it's athletic, fast, powerful, at times patient.
Full count pitch. Salt spoils it foul.
You know, if I was going to do the math right now in my head, which that's scary for everybody, including myself, but I'm going to tell you, it's 65, 70% secondary right now. I mean, out of Tilly. It's more, the fastball is more rare than the secondary. And it's a good fastball. I mean, you just saw it. It's 94. I mean, it's got good life to it, but he likes to throw the. Look, you got to do what you got to do, what you feel comfortable with. This is what Auburn feels like he's comfortable with throwing. I mean, that slider's a plus pitch.
Full count to Tolt. And walks for the second time tonight. The Beavers have now received 5 free tickets to first base. 4 walks and a hit batter. And out of the top of the Oregon State lineup to Trent Caraway. Tilly steps off and throws to second. A lot of history and success with this Oregon State program. 3-time national champions, back-to-back in 06 and 07, won it again in 2018. Beating Arkansas in a memorable College World Series final 7 years ago. To date, that's the last time Oregon State has been to Omaha. You look at the history for the Beavers, those titles, those 3 seasons. Mitch Canham, catcher on the 06 and 07 teams. Been to the Supers 9 times, including a year ago in Lexington. As Caraway grounds one to third, Snow to second for 1, back to first for a 5-4-3 double play. The second twin killing tonight for Auburn. That'll end the inning.
I'm going to tell you what, that's a great pick up and throw by the third baseman, but I'm going to tell you right now, Rimbert absolutely throws a rocket from second base on the pivot. We get another look at this. Nice feed. It's his feet down. I mean, throws a bullet to first base to complete the double play.
At Shriners Children's, we're home to the world's leading pediatric orthopedic care. Because so many life-changing advancements start here. We provide access to the best doctors and never allow your ability to pay for services to compromise the care your child needs. We're the first place to turn for the most common or complex orthopedic conditions. Home to possibility and empowering kids to achieve the extraordinary. Shriners Children's, the most amazing care anywhere.
Record-breaking global superstar Shakira, live in Arlington. Las Mujeres Ya No Lloran World Tour, Globe Life Field, June 11th. The phenomenal new album Las Mujeres Ya No Lloran is available everywhere now. Get tickets now at Shakira.com.
Yeah, winning a policy. Thank God for $1, a prophecy. Lot of pressure, I am a prodigy. Everybody inside of the stadium tell me they proud of me. Shot in public, training privately. Homer, straight to the balcony. Building muscle, I never can bother me. Texas Rangers together, we by the team. Go man, this is the dog in me. Still a game on the road, it's a robbery. Stand on base, going strong, no apology. Corey Seager might give it to Raw. Like I see it, descending my arm.
Oregon State a couple of runs in the top of the second. Auburn responded right away, getting a game-tying 2-run ground rule double from Chris Rembert, who helped turn a double play moments ago for Auburn. The Beavers got a run at the top of the third, and again, Auburn responded with a 2-out run as we go to the fourth at a 3-3 game. Bub Terrell leads off the inning here for the Tigers. Whitney on the mound, 4th inning of work for Oregon State here tonight. Pitch count over 70 for the freshman. Ahead against Terrell, 0-2. Bub Terrell was on base 4 times yesterday against Ohio State. Strikes out on 3 pitches here, and that's good for the first out of the inning.
Pretty good ones. Hubbard was trying to shift out, and he threw it too soon and dotted it on the outer half.
That's now 6 strikeouts for Whitney. That brings up Rember.
Yeah, I don't know what. I don't know. You know, Coach Thompson's coming out. The hitter before Terrell, after the pitch, turned back to the home plate umpire. I don't know if he asked him if he quick pitched him. I'm not sure, but Coach Thompson coming out immediately to talk about it as well.
Now Butch Thompson will head back into the dugout. Here's Rember to the plate. With that ground rule double, he had back in the second. Rember now on a 7-game hitting streak. Has 3 RBI this weekend in Arlington. And Rember to head 2-0. All 3 freshmen in the lineup batting here in the 4th inning for Auburn. 2 balls and a strike. That ball drilled towards center. Reeder over to make the catch for Oregon State. 2 up into 2 down for Whitney here in the 4th.
Remember did a good job. He landed on another one. That's the 2nd time this game he's put a jolt into a ball with a swing. This one just happened to be a center field, got in the way of it, but another good-looking swing.
That'll bring up Chase Fralick, and the Beavers have a shift on against him.
Well, it makes sense. You got a guy who's cutting his fastball, so that means it's moving right to left into the left-handed hitter. He throws a slider off of that moves right to left into the left-handed hitter. So you might as well just move your defense that way in hopes that he catches a slider moving right to left to him and he hits it on the ground to the right side.
The shortstop Arquette playing behind the bag at second. A.J. Singer deep in the hole playing in shallow right. Swing and a miss. Fastball at 95 there from Whitney. It's 1-2. Our second game of the day earlier today, Baylor 8-6 winners over Ohio State. A 4-run 8th inning for the Bears in that win. Their first one ever at Globe Life Field. And now the Buckeyes 0-2 in their trip to Arlington. They'll take on Oregon State tomorrow. The 1-2 pitch. Count evens 2-2 to Fralick. Bristol Carter awaits on deck for the Tigers. That's off the plate, and the count feels at 3-2.
Well, that ball was off the plate, a good ways off the plate. The Beaver fans thought it was going to be a strike because the catcher set up so far off the edge.
That ball headed towards left field, and that's going to drop in for a base hit for Frelick. Another 2-out hit for Auburn tonight. And that'll extend the inning to Bristol Carter.
A fastball in the middle of the plate. Serves it over to left field.
Two teams have combined 7 hits tonight. 5 of them have come with 2 outs. And now to the 9-hole hitter, Carter. But first, Hubbard will come out and visit with Whitney. Now, pitch count is climbing, is up to 85. About to see the lineup a 3rd time through. And there is activity. A couple of arms when we got for the Beavers in the bullpen.
Yeah, and then one of them's not just playing catch. I mean, he's getting after it.
Zach Kamatz and Wyatt Queen getting loose for Oregon State. Here's a visit from Rich Dorman.
I think people would be a little bit surprised at times. They're going to make a move, but a little bit surprised at times what's said on the mound.
That's it for Whitney. After giving up the 2-out base hit, he leaves in the 4th, and the Beavers will turn to Zach Kamatz. Runner at first base, 2 outs in the 4th inning in a 3-3 game. Back after this from Globe Life Field in Arlington. Zach Kamatz into the game now for the Oregon State Beavers in his 3-3 game in the 4th inning. About to make his 3rd appearance of the season. Last time out, pitched against Minnesota last week in Round Rock, went an inning and a 3rd. A perfect baseball. In his Beavers debut, gave up 2 earned runs against Xavier. And what was an 18-6 win for Oregon State on opening weekend. And Beaver fans know that last name really well. His older brother, Jacob Kamatz, pitched for this program for 3 seasons, wrapping up his Beavers career a year ago.
A little bit different look. Maybe more of a 3/4 arm slot than what you saw at a Whitney. 91, 92 mile-an-hour fastball. Is going to move left to right with a little bit of sink. 2-seamers involved with it as well. Breaker, a little bit bigger breaker than what we saw at a Whitney as well.
And Kamatz will face Bristol Carter. Frelick over at first base following his 2-out single. And they got a piece of him. Clipped him. Carter will take his base. And now 2 on for the top of the order.
Didn't get a whole bunch of him, but got enough of him. All it's got to do is graze or touch any piece of you. Tell you what, that ball was got a lot of movement to it too. That's 94-mile-an-hour two-seamer.
Here's Eric Snow, 0 for 2. On the outside corner, strike one. A fly out and a ground out so far tonight for Snow. This after reaching base 4 times last night. The 0-1. Had the play but low. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Well, you can see Hubbard back there trying to tell him to hurry up. He was down to 1 second. Right at 2 seconds, he starts kind of motioning with his right hand, his free hand, to hurry up. And he barely got that pitch off in time.
Tigers have scored in each of the last 2 innings. Had a couple of runs in the second. Got 1 across the third. 2 on here the fourth. And the count now at 3-1 to Snow, with Kay Ballou waiting on deck. Kamat steps off.
They're having a hard time getting the sign in time. Easiest way to do it, just inside move, throw it to your infielder, and buy yourself a little time.
Well, a big spot for the freshman here now. Full count pitch coming up, and the runners will be going off of it. And the pitch. That'll load him up. Snow's on for the first time, and the bases are juiced for Cade Ballou.
You know, he threw the first fastball in. He got away from him, right? Nicked the hitter and got a hit by pitch and, you know, free base. And since then, all of his fastballs have been away. And a lot of times those right-handed hitters, when that ball's got as much movement as his does, and good power fastball that he has, we're going to see another visit.
Will Kamat stay in the game here to face Ballou? And the answer is no. Another bullpen change here for Oregon State. That's it for Kamat. He'll leave with the bases loaded. And out of the bullpen here for Oregon State is Wyatt Queen. Bases full of Tigers, 2 outs in the 4th inning in a 3-3 game. Pitching change for the Beavers. We're back after this on Flow College. Bases loaded for the Tigers. 2 outs in the 4th inning in a 3-3 game. High leverage situation here for Wyatt Queen, a first-year transfer out of Everett Community College, making his 3rd appearance of the year. Last time the Beavers had him on the mound was against Oklahoma last week. 2 2/3 innings of relief against the Sooners, struck out 3. And he's in a tough spot here. Bases full and facing Cade Ballou. Ballou tonight 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts. Both times facing Dax Whitney. And he hits him. Brings in a run for the Tigers. They have their first lead tonight as Frelick scores.
Now second one this inning. 3rd free base this inning.
3rd straight.
He'll take that RBI. A little more painful than most.
Here's Ike Irish. Swung on, drilled to right field. Tolt going back, and he has a catch just shy of the wall. Irish just missed a grand slam, but the Tigers have taken the lead. We head to the 5th inning. Auburn on top of the Beavers for the first time tonight, 4-3.
I don't feel right unless the odds against me. Back against the wall with my strength. Yeah. I can't let it break. Everything I've been through, it made better. I love the hate, it just made me better. Been through everything, it just made me better. I can't risk the pain, it just made me better. What's the next stage? It just made me better.
To left field. Goodbye, home run.
There's an old saying, everything's bigger in Texas. Well, let's just say IndyCar is about to go to a whole nother level. Get ready, Arlington. This is where history is made and champions are born.
And welcome back to Globe Life Field. Brant Freeman alongside Ty Harrington. We're now joined by Jared Strom, the Senior Vice President of Rev Entertainment. 3rd straight weekend of college baseball here. Jared, how much fun has this been?
It's been great. It's good to see you guys again.
It's always great to be seen here. I'm going to tell you what, it is the 3rd weekend, and you guys are just hard at it again, making this an unbelievable event.
It's been so much fun, really enjoyable baseball and quality baseball. The fans have been great. It's been really, really good.
And this ballpark has been home to a lot of college baseball over the past several seasons. How special has that partnership been?
Yeah, I mean, listen, I grew up loving the sport of baseball, played college baseball, as Ty knows well. And so we're all in. We love college baseball around here. It's a great way to start the season before Rangers baseball gets underway later this month.
You know what, I got to say this. It's almost like a thank you, congratulation, or appreciation for what you guys are doing for college baseball. You know I love this sport as you do too, and to have these events, the first 3 weekends of the season, particularly opening weekend, I think personally, I think there's a lot of people that would agree with me, it just continues to elevate the college game, in my opinion, having events and moments like this and teams like this.
Yeah, and that's the goal for us. We believe in college baseball. We're obviously huge fans of it. So much so that we've committed to 3 weekends, to your point, and want to continue to do more in the space. So excited for the future and what it holds.
Leading off this inning for the Beavers, Iva Arquette, new pitcher into the game, Carson Myers here for Auburn. 4-3 Tigers on top as Arquette swings the first pitch. Skies a pop up into center. Bristol Carter tracks it down for the first out.
You know, this from a lot of other coaches too, and just listening to them talk, you know, I'd love to go find out what they think about different things. And each one of them over the last 2-3 years at I've been coming to this event, all of them have said you guys are just so engaging, welcoming to them, allowing them to continue to do what they want to do. Practice, you need extra cages, you need extra time, whatever it may be. And all of them have been just, 110% complimentary of the job you guys do.
Well, that's great to hear, and I think we talked about it a couple weeks ago. I mean, we want them to feel like big leaguers when they're here. These guys know what they're doing. They have great facilities, and so we want to give them the flexibility when they're here to do what they need to prepare for the games and play at the highest level.
You guys do a lot of high school games here too, right?
We do
playoff games?
Yeah.
Globe Life Field, not just a home for college baseball, high school baseball, and the Rangers, but also so many great events being hosted here as well.
Yeah, it's a venue we want to use 365. So baseball is obviously the catalyst for us, but we did 8 concerts last year, looking to do something like that this year. Rodeo is big for us, and then the special events business is 75% of our calendar, the stuff that a lot of folks don't see that keep the building going. So we've got a great staff that handles all of our special events and major events, and they're here this weekend and grinding it out, and we'll be doing it again next weekend as well, and next week. So yeah, no shortage of events here.
Well, I'm going to tell you right now, you're going to get a text message or a phone call from me when the rodeo thing. I'm so intrigued to see how that works here. I mean, I'm looking out at dirt, but it's the dirt baselines and with turf, and I'm so intrigued to see how this thing turns into one of the #1 rodeo event places in the country.
It's pretty impressive. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. You'll have to come out. It's in April, so you are more than welcome.
No balls and 2 strikes to Gavin Turley. That's a big miss to make it a 1 ball and 2 strikes. Talked our first broadcast earlier today about the great runs for the Texas Rangers. Of course, that World Series run in 2023. How special was that?
It was incredible. I think we talked about it a few weeks ago. I mean, you just got to get into the postseason, right? And they were proof of that, and had an incredible run. And it was a lot of fun to be a part of it and get to go out to Phoenix and watch them clinch and celebrate with everybody. And really for us, it was fun to spend time with the full-time staff, the people that we don't get to spend a lot of time with throughout the season because everybody's so busy. So it was a lot of fun to just be with the group and celebrate with one another.
Well, look at that World Series trophy for the Rangers, claimed a couple of years ago. And I know a lot of fun this past year as well with this ballpark hosting the All-Star Game and the Home Run Derby.
Yeah, it was great. It was really cool to see not just what took place inside of Globe Life Field, but really what took place in the district, and to see all of Arlington activated, the hotels, Choctaw Stadium, everything that Arlington has to offer. So it was a lot of fun.
And Turley offers to that pitch and strikes out. A 1-2-3 inning for Carson Myers. Jared, thank you so much for joining us.
You got it. Thanks, guys.
We head to the bottom of the 5th inning. Auburn on top of Oregon State, 4-3 from Globe Life Field.
Record-breaking global superstar Shakira, live in Arlington. Las Mujeres Ya No Lloran World Tour. Globe Life Field, June 11th. The phenomenal new album Las Mujeres Ya No Lloran is available everywhere now. Get tickets now at Shakira.com.
Your college sports have a home on Flow College. Watch more than 12,000 college sporting events from 100 schools and 12 different conferences only on Flow College. Head to flowcollege.com today to see everything now. We head to the bottom of the 5th inning. Auburn on top 4-3. And Cooper McMurray leading things off here for the Tigers in the home half of the 5th. Facing Wyatt Queen, who came into the game in the 4th inning. And inherited a bases-loaded situation. Only gave up the 1 run, but enough to get the Tigers the lead. Just saw a great half inning in the top of the 5th from Carson Myers for the Tigers out of the bullpen. Got through Arquette, Peterson, and Turley in order with a couple of strikeouts. The 3-0. A take all the way for strike 1.
Well, there's not been a shortage of great arms tonight. And, you know, we're sitting at a 4-3 game, 7-run score total. But it's been, I mean, the arms, each of them have been impressive, have great attributes, fastballs, sliders, changeups. But tonight, a little bit different in that the command hasn't been as sharp as what it was last night and what it will be, you know, the next game they play or next week, or whatever it might be.
Leadoff walk for McMurray brings up Derek Fabian. Leadoff man for the Tigers off for the 2nd time tonight. First pitch here to Fabian out of the zone for ball 1. Former Florida Gator in his 2nd season now at Auburn. And the 1-0 is in there for a strike.
You know, command can be a couple of things, and it's not been terrible tonight by any stretch. It's just you get to where both these teams threw the ball so clean last night. It can be emotional, it can be physical, it can be mechanical, it can be your opponent. You know, and how good offensively both these teams are. Might have something to it, you know, pitching on the edge a little too much, maybe more, and then a lot of these hitters being such good qualified hitters, they don't chase all the time. So you're not getting that swing miss that you might have gotten last weekend.
Wyatt Queen, the 3rd pitcher that the Beavers have used tonight. Starter Dax Winnie went 3 2/3, giving up 4 runs. Short outing for Zach Kabatz. And the 2nd reliever, Wyatt Queen, pitching here in the 5th. Fabian, the batter, a great run producer. Through Auburn's first 10 games, 14 runs batted in, 4th in the SEC. The 2-2. In the air to right field. Long run for Tall. Puts on the brakes. He'll make the catch for the 1st out.
Slider away, just ran out of barrel. That's it. I mean, it's a ball that was going to probably end up somewhere off the plate or close to it. And he just ran out of barrel. It's a good pitch. It's an easy play for Tall. Anything's an easy play after watching last night's play.
Another stretch of 3 straight freshman hitters for the Tigers. First up, Bub Terrell. Strike 1. Auburn picked to finish 12th in an ultra-competitive SEC this year. New look conference with the additions of Texas and Oklahoma. Saw Texas here opening weekend for the Shriners Children's College Showdown. A year ago, Auburn 8-22 in SEC play. Did not qualify for the conference tournament. But they reloaded the roster over the offseason. Highest ranked recruiting class in program history over the offseason.
Transfers, freshmen, you heard him say early in the game, what was best available? What was the best available to help their roster today? And you're seeing the tail end of this lineup with these 3 freshmen. Each of them got on base tonight, one a double, a single, and a hit by pitch, each contributing.
There's a fly ball hit well deep right center field. And Reeder of the warning track in one of the deeper parts of the park makes a catch. Terrell just missed that. That's out number 2.
You're right on geographically. It is the deepest part of the park. He hit the ball well. A little over 100, 104 off his bat. 390 feet, but as you mentioned, that's that angle right out in front of Auburn's bullpen. Angle of the fence.
Rember batting with 2 outs. The first pitch has the plate but low on the breaking ball, 1-0 from Wyatt Queen. Remember facing Queen for the first time tonight. The Tigers have been a good base stealing team early part of the year. Already 16 stolen bases. Haven't really been too aggressive this weekend in Arlington.
I didn't have to.
Didn't have to be.
I mean, they were slugging balls all over the place.
Winner of this game will stand alone as the only unbeaten this weekend in Arlington. Swing and a miss. 1-2 to Rember. Chase Fralick awaits on deck. Talked about Auburn a year ago in the SEC. This year picked to finish 12th. And Bush Thompson knows the conference well. Has coached the game of college baseball for 32 years. 23 of those spent in the SEC. Swung on. There's a drive to left. And Rember goes deep. How about 4 RBI night for the freshman, and it's 6-3 Auburn.
Best available? I'll take this freshman. Let me tell you what, this is 105, almost 106 exit velo off the bat. 420 feet, but he gets his hands above this ball, and I mean, just gets busy with it. That young man's got him a double, a line drive to center field that got caught. And now he has got a missile home run to left field.
And that is the first homer of the weekend for the Tigers.
But you get a look at why they didn't need to or have to go to the portal. Right? These 3 freshmen sitting down here, these aren't normal. These guys, I mean, they look like they're supposed to be out there and look like they've been out there for about 2 years.
Frelick hit into the shift, handled by Singer. That'll do it for the 5th inning. Chris Rivert, a 2-run homer. And Auburn's on top 6-3 heading into the 6th.
Golden Chick's new Golden Bowl is so big, it's a whole lot of yes and a whole lot of yum. So if you like big bowls, and we cannot lie, the new loaded mashed potato bowl is a whole lot of Golden Chick, a big bowl you can't deny.
Woodcraft and their dedicated Amity business banker work together to put the us in business banking, creating a long-lasting relationship with open and quick communication. Now it's your turn with your own dedicated Amity business banker with banking experience in your industry, because you're more than a customer. We're more than a bank, and together we'll work to help put your business on solid financial footing with comprehensive financing options, earned interest on your accounts, and yes, the support you need to reach your business goals faster. Here we collaborate. Here you grow.
We've talked at length just how good the SEC is. The last 5 national champions, all hailing from the Southeastern Conference. A year ago, it was Tony Vitello's Tennessee Volunteers. Before that, LSU saw Jay Johnson's team here early this week beat Dallas Baptist. Ole Miss in 2022, Mississippi State the year prior. And the year before the COVID pandemic, Vanderbilt went to the national championship. So again, the last 5 national champs all hailing from the same conference.
I mean, look, we can go a lot of different directions with that conversation. But when the SEC pours what they do into resources and facilities and interest and fan base, and that list can go on and on. It's got a lot to do with why they have had so many national championships over the last few years, several years.
Jacob Craig swinging at the first pitch. And flies out to Carter in center. 4 up and 4 down so far for Carson Myers out of the bullpen.
He's done a good job of attacking the hitters and attacking the strike zone. He's getting paid for it right now with the outs.
Here's Bryce Hubbard, second at-bat of the night. Came off the bench this evening for Wilson Weber. Speaking of Mississippi State, Hubbard began his career in Starkville. And then with the JUCO route, now his first year at Oregon State. Ahead against Myers, 2-0. Saw a great mix of conferences here on opening weekend. A couple of teams out of the ACC, Louisville and Clemson were here. Texas, Ole Miss out of the SEC, Oklahoma State for the Big 12. It's a great way to kick off the new season. Last week, Arkansas, TCU, K-State, and Michigan. All the Power 4 conferences represented in the first 3 weeks of college baseball here in Arlington. 3-1. And Hubbard takes a walk. Brings up Cannon Reeder. Back in the second inning. Got a hold of one deep to left field.
Tell you what, he did go deep. Showed off his bat speed on that swing as well. You know, when this season ends, I'm going to be interested to look back at Oregon State's offensive stats and just see what their extra base hit value looks like at the end of the year, because they've got great balance and power. I'm going to be curious at years in what it looks like.
Coming into Arlington, the Beavers slugging .477. A team OPS over 900 coming into the weekend. Reeder shoots one down the left field line but foul.
A bit of that doubles and dingers philosophy, and they've got the bat speed, power to do it. I'll say that, and they sacked bunt, what, in the second, third inning of this game? Which I like. I like to see when they see the the moment, they do it. A lot of teams have gotten away from the sack bunt, given up the out to advanced runners early in the game. You know, a lot will do it late.
The 0-2. Here's a drive out to left. That's going to fall in for a base hit. Reeder's off for the third time, and that'll bring up the tying run.
This breaker ran right into him. He does a really good job, man, of getting down after this ball. It was running down and into him. Anytime you got a left-handed breaker running into a right-handed hitter, you got to be able to get to the middle of the bottom of it. I'm sorry, the middle of it. And he does, and pulls it over to the left side. That ball was stung.
Now A.J. Singer. But before that, a visit coming up here for the Tigers. Pitching coach Everett Tieford out of the mound in his second season at Auburn. Before joining Butch Thompson's staff, was in the White Sox organization for 6 years. A former big league pitcher himself. A peek into that Auburn bullpen, and Parker Carlson getting loose. A senior right-hander from Mobile, Alabama.
You know what's interesting in the last 5, 8 years in college baseball, even maybe 10, a lot of college guys going out and getting pro pitching coaches instead of just, you know, a guy that was a college-oriented guy. When they expanded the staff, that allowed you to go have a recruiting coordinator. And a lot of times, you know, guys in the pro space didn't quite, they could, but didn't have immediate information and knowledge of what the recruiting, you know, path was like. And now they expanded the coaching staffs, and a lot of guys, the new trend is to go get these pro guys because they've got the data.
That ball lined to Snow, back to second for a double play. The third double play for the Tigers tonight. The infield defense for Auburn has been on point here this evening. Snow doubles off Hubbard, and we go to the bottom of the sixth. 6-3 Tigers on top. Welcome back to Globe Life Field, a ballpark that opened back in July of 2020. Home of 2 World Series. In 2020, that same year, in 2023. Talked about this with Jared Schaum earlier. A year ago, this ballpark hosted the Major League Baseball All-Star Game and the Home Run Derby. A retractable roof here as well in Arlington, one of 7 in Major League Baseball. Beautiful facility for college baseball. It's become a home for college baseball over the past several years. As we head to the bottom of the 6th inning, 6-3 Auburn Tigers on top. Just saw Auburn turn another double play. Their 3rd tonight. And the Beavers, a new pitcher on the mound, Tanner Douglas, making his 3rd appearance of the year. The 4th pitcher the Beavers have used this evening. Bristol Carter leading off for Auburn. Swing and a miss, strike 1. Just love the way how this ballpark has kind of bookended college baseball. You start the year with the several weeks of college baseball here, end the year in the postseason of the Big 12 tournament.
Yeah, that's a great point. I don't think I thought about it that way, but you're 100% right. I mean, you get great crowds, you know, and then you get into postseason, the Big 12 tournament, you know, the Big 12 conference references, hey, let's, you know, we got to make it to Arlington and or Globe Life.
Ground ball opposite of the shift. Craig Fields flips to Douglas in time for the out.
Well, the old pitcher get over and cover first base. Everybody in your dugout hollers, get over. It's your responsibility on a ground ball hit to the first baseman. And this was tough because he was getting out of the box on the swing. Boy, it was just bang, bang, but he did get his foot there right before Carter did.
Back to the top of the order to Eric Snow.
You know, this game's already hard enough, and that's the defensive value of it when you can't make mistakes against good teams. And they did, and they went over and covered first base, but that's part of it. Those little plays are so huge, and they go unnoticed because you get the out, right? You expect it, but when it gets messed up, and all of a sudden you start seeing runs scored or crooked numbers.
Swing and a miss, 2-1 to Snow.
I mean, both of these teams are so good offensively and good on the mound too, but if they do make a mistake, both of these teams are capable of making you pay for it.
Another swing and a miss, swing and a miss. Breaking ball there from Douglas. Count evens at 2 balls and 2 strikes. The Tigers have scored in 4 straight innings. Got 2 in the second on the 2-run ground rule double from Rembert. A run in each, the 3rd and 4th. And Rembert delivering again with a 2-run homer in the 5th. Full count to Snow, and he'll draw a 1-out walk.
Just off the edge. And again, we've seen a handful of free bases tonight, both ways. The value of them, when you can get 90 feet without having to swing a bat and worry about somebody getting in the way of it. There's a lot to it. This is why you hear each in both these clubs. Excellent pitching coaches, and you'll hear them preach about it nonstop. Throw the ball in the strike zone. Well, you heard Coach Thompson talk about it in the coach interview, right? 93% strikes last night. Did I say 93? 73. 73.
Yeah.
I was about to say 93. We're setting a new world record in strike throwing.
1-0 to Cade Ballou. Change up in there for a strike. Bigger miss that time from Douglas. Oregon State's pitching staff coming into Arlington, a 3.26 ERA. Good for 41st in the nation. All 6 runs given up tonight have been earned. And a count now to Ballou, 3-1. Another walk. Ballou's on for the second time tonight. Back-to-back walks given up by Douglas. That'll bring up Ike Irish, who just missed a grand slam last time up.
Well, if I'm counting right, I know it's around 7 free bases. That's right at a little over 1 an inning. And in each team, there's been a lot of base runners tonight. We've had, what, maybe 2 clean innings? The first half inning? Or was it the second half? One of the first innings was clean.
There have been 2 3-up, 3-down innings tonight.
That's what I thought.
Yep. A combined 10 runners left on. 2 on here for Irish. Who's had a couple of big swings in this game.
Not as many strike ones tonight as last night from both teams either.
The 1-0. Irish offers 1 ball, 1 strike. Pitch is going to drop into left center field for a base hit. Irish delivers again. That'll bring home Snow. Ballou over to third base. Increases the lead to 7-3 for the Tigers.
Just another qualified great at bat. Out ball elevated middle. Serves it in between center and left field. Both runners able to advance 2 bases. See a mound visit.
Might lead to another change here for the Beavers. Mitch Canham out to the mound. Inning started with a great play by Douglas to retire Carter on a bang-bang play at first. After that, back-to-back walks and a base hit. And the meat of the order coming up here for the Tigers. Ballou at third, Irish at first, and the batter Cooper McMurray.
Yeah, and you know, it's a great reminder. I'm sure Coach Canham went out there and told him, say, hey, look, settle down, make a good pitch right here, get a ground ball in the middle of the infield, let those 2 guys go to work, maybe turn a double play, get out of this.
First pitch, and there for a strike.
Yeah, and I think a lot of that conversation, or at least part of that conversation, was, hey, we got to get ahead. We got to be able, what's a pitch you feel good with? Getting ahead, you know, 0-1, breaker, fastball, what is it?
Runner takes off for second, Irish. And now coming home to score is Ballou. Irish is safe at second base as Ballou scores to make it 8-3.
Offensive double steal. Auburn pulling out all the stops here to keep their offense going. They execute a steal of second base and then a steal of home. And part of it was set up. The third baseman was playing way over towards shortstop, which allowed the runner at third to get a bigger lead off on the throw and able to score.
Away with a miss by McMurray. And another crooked number inning for the Tigers. A look back at the double steal.
Yep, they're throwing through, didn't look at the runner at third. Again, the third baseman was way off the bag over towards shortstop.
Well, the Tigers just keep finding different ways to score this weekend, don't they?
Yeah, I mean, it's creative, powerful, patient.
McMurray strikes out. Second out here, the sixth inning. You said it. See patient at-bats, a lot of free passes for the Tigers in these two games. Seen some power as well, and some great base running as well for the Tigers.
Yep, absolutely. Very aggressive on the bases. A lot of different things, and now we're going to see a different pitcher.
Beavers back in the pen to A.J. Hutchinson. Fifth pitcher of the night for Oregon State. Auburn on top 8-3 and still batting here the sixth inning on Flo College. New pitcher into the game here for Oregon State. A.J. Hutchinson into the game now for the Beavers. The fifth pitcher that Oregon State has used tonight, a junior out of Elk Grove, California. On the mound now for Oregon State, inherits a base runner. The Tigers have already scored twice in the sixth inning. Now 6 unanswered runs scored by the Tigers.
If you don't get ahead of them and you pitch behind, they've got good enough hitters. But it's hard enough. But when you're pitching behind, which is what it seems like, or at least it's felt that way for the last couple innings for Oregon State.
First pitch here, smacked up the middle. Singer from second. A throw to first base in time for the third and final out. The Tigers hang 2 in the inning against Oregon State, increase the lead to 5. It's 8-3 heading into the 7th. here in Arlington. This year, one in transition for Oregon State, one of just two teams currently in the Pac-12 along with Washington State. This season playing teams from 9 different conferences, including 9 games against the Big Ten. Some of their former Pac-12 colleagues to include longtime rival Oregon, a 4-game series coming up later in the year against the Ducks. 3 of the games in Eugene, a midweek game in Corvallis. Speaking of Corvallis, only 20 games at home this year for Oregon State.
Well, look, when you're the so-called independent and you're having to go play a lot of the other teams or other conferences off week, they don't want to travel during conference, and you kind of lose some leverage. You know what I mean? I'm just being honest about it. And Coach Cannon was talking about how he had hoped, he wished he'd been able to got more home games, but it's just hard when you don't have that conference, you don't have that built-in, 27 games.
Ground ball to first, handled by McMurray, and Tall retired on 1 pitch from Parker Carlson here in the 7th.
That ball was hit hard. Nice play by McMurray, too, on the backhand. But I admire him for getting on the road and going to play. Still, even these first 3 weekends on the road, these tournaments and neutral sites, you want to be able to play. The weather comes into play. Certainly now, here you get 72 and sunny every day inside beautiful Globe Life, but that's a lot. That's a scheduling nightmare for a coach, a head coach, to try to go and schedule that many games. They made it happen. They worked hard at it. It's a doable thing. It's just a lot more effort and time in return. You're going to place a lot more games on the road than they normally would.
A lot of history in the Pac-12 for Oregon State. 15 times they've had a player named Player of the Year in the conference. Some of the names: Jacoby Ellsbury, Michael Conforto, Nick Madrigal, and most recently Jacob Melton in 2022, as you see Caraway strike out for the 2nd time. 2 up and 2 down for Parker Carlson here in the 7th.
Looked like something secondary that just fell out of the bottom fell out of it. Like a changeup or maybe a small cutter.
Here's Iva Arquette. Still been a relatively quiet weekend for him in Arlington. Arquette has been on a couple of times with the walk, still looking for his first hit here at Globe Life Field.
Well, he may have been so far, let's say, quiet offensively, but not defensively. He makes some routine plays look even more routine than they're supposed to.
The 1-1. You think about just how offensive Auburn has been this weekend. 8 runs tonight, 13 in 7 innings yesterday against Ohio State. And they have beat up on opposing pitching. They've faced 9 pitchers so far, and they put up 21 runs.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. Well, they've caused it. I mean, they've caused the reason why they've had to run so many different arms out there.
Full count to Arquette. Grounded sharply to third, picked by Snow, spins and throws to first base. And again, this infield defense has been incredible tonight for Auburn.
That's not that easy. This is not this easy. I promise you, that was an unreal play by the third baseman. I mean, that's a good play. And you're right, the defense has been really good all night long.
Time to stretch in Arlington. 8-3 Tigers on top of the Beavers here on Flo College. Time now for the M&G Bank 7th inning stretch as we head to the bottom of the 7th. Auburn has scored 6 unanswered, on top 8-3. The offense has scored in each of the last 5 innings. They've been relentless against opposing pitching all weekend long. That continues here tonight, on top by 5 as we start at the bottom of the 7th. Coming up, Bub Terrell, Chris Rembert, and Chase Freilich, the trio of freshman hitters in the Auburn order.
I like how it's been named now the bottom third of the order, the freshman trio hitters, because it's such a rarity in Division I college baseball, and certainly in the SEC, to have 3 freshmen in the lineup. But these 3 are a little bit different. They're good looking. We talked about it earlier. They show signs at moments that they look like sophomore hitters, guys that have already played a year of Division I baseball, physically and mechanically. So far, even dating back to yesterday's game, and certainly they brought the numbers their offensive numbers got ahead of them even before they got here. I haven't seen them overmatched yet. Like, and look, we've seen 95 to 96 at the very beginning of this game.
Two balls and 2 strikes to Terrell. Swing and a miss. Terrell down on strikes for a second time. First strikeout for A.J. Hutchinson, and one away here in the 7th.
Hutchinson ran that slider, started middle in, and just kept running in on him. Wasn't able to get a piece of it to foul it off or fight it off.
What a night it's been for this young hitter, Chris Rembert. Up the middle, the shortstop Arquette fields and fires to Craig at first base. That's out number 2.
I guess I need to quit being so impressed by the way both teams infield-wise tonight have played. Just, you know, how effortless they make it look, how they execute ground balls and throws. It's really been a treat to watch both these teams tonight.
Now, when you go back to the top of this inning, and that play by Snow at third.
Oh, it's not easy. That was not easy.
Fielded that ball, kind of spun in one motion. On target throw over to first base.
Flat-footed, no momentum going to first base on that long throw. And he was in a deep 5, meaning he was in the deep fielding position at third base. I was flipping through scores a little while ago, and I ran across one. I had to go back and read it again. Of course, the Oregon State people aren't going to enjoy this, but I saw a score where Oregon won 35-1 over Columbia. Could you imagine how long that game lasts? I mean, I didn't look on the box score what the time of the game was.
Seem to recall there was a mid-major game opening weekend. I think it was 36-22 the final. Rhode Island against William and Mary.
Yeah, I remember that too. I mean, that's why they have the 10-run rule.
Gosh, you get run rule scoring 22 times. Unbelievable.
Well, I did look on there. They played 9 in the Oregon game. I couldn't believe it. And they're playing again. So it's a doubleheader.
Doubleheader.
Yeah. It's been a long day at the yard.
2-2. You would think a game like that would go, say, 4.5 hours or so. 3:20 was the final time on that.
No. Well, yeah, Columbia only scored once. Really? 3:20?
3:20.
You looked it up?
Huh. Strike 3. Second strikeout of the inning for Hutchinson, and he gets through that talented freshman part of the order. In order in the 7th. A breaking ball, a little low in the zone, but a called strike 3. We go to the 8th in an 8-3 game. At one point, Oregon State staked a 2-0 lead. Tigers responded with a game-tying 2-run ground rule double from Chris Remmertz. Beavers then retook the lead on a solo homer from Jacob Craig. Since then, 6 unanswered scored by Auburn as we head to the 8th in an 8-3 game.
Well, if you read that line score, Oregon, every time Oregon State scored, Auburn answered and tied it and got back what they'd lost. And then once they got a 0 up on Oregon State in the 3rd, then they started their, as you mentioned, unanswered amount of runs scored.
Tice Peterson, Gavin Turley, Jacob Craig batting for the Beavers here in the 8th. And we talked about Mitch Canham, Oregon State's head coach, former catcher for the program in the mid-2000s, part of back-to-back national champions 06 and 07. That 06 team won 50 games and came from behind and beat North Carolina in the College World Series. The Tar Heels won the first game. Beavers came back to win the next 2. In 2007, the Beavers had a perfect run in Omaha. They were 5-0 that year. A rematch against North Carolina in the finals, swept the Tar Heels then. Jorge Reyes was the most outstanding player of that year's College World Series. And 8 Beavers were drafted that season, to include Canham, who was a first-round pick, as Peterson pokes a base hit through the left side to start the 8th inning.
Looked to me like a fastball running back towards him. We'll get another look at it. Oh, the backup slider. I can see that spin on the screen going right to left. Just backed up, didn't do anything. Sat in the middle of the plate. He was able to pull up between his shortstop and the third baseman.
Tough night for Gavin Turley as he bats for the 4th time. That takes a strike against Parker Carlson. A 1 pitch, hit well, deep left center field. Carter going back, leaps, and it's gone. 35th career home run for Gavin Turley. Makes it a 3-run game.
I think you had just said it had been a tough night for him, and he unloads a exit velo 110. This ball is 427 feet, a no-doubter, to part of the deepest part of the park. Look at him, man, just almost emotional. It's just, hey, I hit another one. Now you get to see a little bit more in there.
A lot of game to go. Still nobody out in the 8th in a 3-run game. Jacob Craig, who's homered tonight, batting now for Oregon State. The home run ball, a big part of the offense for the Beavers, and they're staying in Arlington this weekend. 2 balls and no strikes. Three and 0. Some activity in that Tiger bullpen now. 3-0 count to Craig. Take all the way. It's 3-1. That's Hayden Murphy getting loose for the Tigers.
Now, this is when he hit his homer last time, was in a full count. If I remember right, he took a 3-1 pitch slider. And he went heater away, and he hit it the other way for a homer.
On the outside corner, called strike 3. Good pitch from Carlson. That's good for the first out of the inning.
Slider locked him up. I think he thought it might run away from him and get off the plate. As you can see with the pitch box right there, it caught plenty of plate.
Second strikeout for Carlson. And here's Hubbard. Two balls and no strikes. The nightcap of our doubleheader earlier today, Baylor 8-6 winners over Ohio State. It was a nice competitive game, went back and forth earlier today.
It did. Now it got exciting. As you mentioned, tied it up in the 8th. Then it got hairy again in the 9th. If you were a Baylor fan, but they were able to hold on at the end. Come out with the first win in Globe Life. I didn't know. You just mentioned that. I wouldn't have thought that. Of course, last year I was here when they played and they lost all 3. But they had some injuries that happened that weekend too. There's a lot of different things that happened to affect the outcomes of the games. But
Baylor faces Auburn tomorrow. 2-2 to Hubbard. A swing and a miss. Back-to-back strikeouts for Carlson. Good way to bounce back after the home run ball.
Yeah, I mean, he really got the barrel going on this one. This was a slider underneath Hubbard that ran way off the plate. That ball didn't appear to start on the inside of the plate, but even maybe out of the strike zone in. But once he got that barrel going, wasn't able to hold on.
Nobody on, 2 away for Cannon Reeder. That's one of the 3 home runs tonight for the Beavers. Didn't see Reeder last night in the win over Baylor. The 1-0 pitch. Count now 2-0. Up the middle, over from short, Fabian. And the play to first base made in time.
Oh, man. They make it look easy. It's fun to watch.
We're going to watch the homer from Gavin Turley. A 2-run shot, the 35th of his career. The Beavers trying to crawl back into the game. It's now 8-5 as they head to the bottom of the 8th inning. Back after this from Globe Life Field in Arlington on Flow College. And welcome back to Arlington. Auburn fans having a good time with the Tigers on top 8-5, looking to go to 2-0 this weekend in Arlington. Beaver fans have made their way to North Texas as well this weekend. Oregon State coming off a win last night over Baylor. Trying to claw back into this game. Got 2 runs back in the top of the 8th with a homer hit by Turley. It's now the Tigers bat at the home half of the inning on top 8-5. Leadoff man Bristol Carter takes a strike from Hutchison.
So far, Hutchison's been able to get strike one, attack the strike zone. Had a 3 up, 3 down last time. That sidearm's a different look for those right-handed, and truthfully, can be for the left-handed. Historically, you throw the ball away from the left-handers, let the ball run away from them. But he's done a good job of getting that breaker on him and throwing it into the left-handed hitters.
One and 2 now to Carter. His reach base once tonight, pokes that one foul, and the count remains 1-2. One of the first-year transfers into this Tiger program from East Carolina. Second-team freshman All-American a year ago. Big season with the Pirates, hitting .346. Now in the SEC, 1-2 pitch, hit to the air to right. Easton Talt has it for the first out.
So far, Hutchison able to keep going at the strike zone. And look at this. The secret to being able to be good on the mound is to have great stuff, obviously. He uses a different angle, the sidearm angle, right? It's a different look. You don't see that all the time. The other secret sauce is being able to throw strikes. Strike 1, 2 is awfully helpful.
Back at the top of the order to Eric Snow, who's been on twice with a couple of walks. Hard shot back towards the Auburn dugout. Players darting out of the way on that line drive.
Well, let me tell you something. If you've never been in that dugout and those balls come over there whistling at 100 miles an hour, you better be paying attention or find something to duck under or grab your buddy or want something, because it's coming in there in a hurry. Well, he's got goggles on. He's protected.
The 1-1. And that ball is going to drop in for a base hit for Snow. A 1-out single. And he's on for the 3rd time tonight.
Got it off the fist, but he's strong enough, physical enough, and it was elevated enough too to kind of lift it over the second baseman's head in between the right fielder, Talt. Gather up. I think his first hit for the night, right?
It is.
Yeah. Been on 2 other times.
Brings up Blue. The Beavers were actually out hitting the Tigers tonight, 7-6. But again, those free passes have haunted the Beavers here this evening. Blue, the beneficiary of 2 free passes himself, has been hit by a pitch and has walked tonight. Oregon State trying to keep this a 3-run game going into the 9th. The bats coming up for Oregon State: Singer, Talt, and Caraway. 8, 9, and 1 in the Beavers' order. Foul tip strike, and it's 0-2 to Ballou.
And yeah, you know, we saw Auburn, you know, throwing a guy in the bullpen, getting him ready, and there's another guy out there throwing right now. I think it was Murray, and you know, whether he's coming in or whether they're going to let.
And Snow takes off for second. Here's a throw, here's a tag, and that's in time for the out.
Looked like a delay steal. We're going to chance maybe we could see this again. Yep, delay steal. You see the catcher peek over. You shuffle, delay, hoping that the infielders don't see it and that the catcher goes to his knee and doesn't recognize you took off. And often you want to do it with the left-handed hitter because he blocks the runner at first visually for the catcher.
Good tag by Arquette. One of the top shortstops in the country. Has played great defense this weekend here at Globe Life. 2-2 to Ballou. And that stays fair. Handled by Craig. To the bag himself. Into the ninth inning we go. Coming up for Oregon State, A.J. Singer, Easton Toll, Trent Caraway with the Beavers down to their final 3 outs. Sports are better on the big screen. Head to your preferred device app store to download the all-new FloSports TV apps for Roku, Apple TV, Fire TV, Android TV, and Chromecast. We head to the ninth inning here from North Texas. 8-5, Beavers trailing. Auburn coming to bat here at the top of the ninth inning. And the Tigers now turn to Hayden Murphy, looking for those final 3 outs here tonight.
Funnest inning in baseball, ninth inning. So many crazy things happen, but it gets a little bit more tense. Players, coaches, more coaches than the players, umpires, fans, play-by-play guys, everybody starts to get a little bit more tense, and it's fun. It is truly the most exciting inning in a baseball game.
And here's Hayden Murphy. Into the game now for the Tigers to face A.J. Singer, leading off in the ninth inning for Oregon State.
A 97-mile-an-hour heater, Brant.
On the Stopper of the Year watch list this season. It is 3rd year at Auburn. Has followed behind Singer 2-0. 2 balls, 1 strike. Singer blasts one towards the gap in left center field, and that's going to be caught on the run by Ballou. Nice swing from Singer, but Ballou covered a lot of ground in a short amount of time. Good for the first out.
Yep, he sure did. Hit right in between both of them. Center fielder, but Ballou moving that way towards it and his glove side was able to call him off and make the catch.
One away in the ninth. That'll bring up Easton Talt. After that, the top of the order for the Beavers. Auburn 2 outs away from a 9th straight win.
You know why they pay back in guys so much money? Because it is the 9th inning. I mean, everybody gets, you know, the focus, the intensity, the tension, interest, everything just starts piling into this last inning. And it takes a different person to want to go, you know what? I'll be good getting out there for the last 3 outs of the game when all the end of the game's piled in there for the last 3 outs possibly.
Three balls, 1 strike now to Talt. He's already drawn 2 walks in this game. That'll fill the count. Fastball at 94.
You know, back-to-back 2-seamers. Fastball acted a little bit different when he first got in there, and also a little more amped up. The first hitter, they were 96, 97 on our 4-seamers. Now he's going to a 2-seamer, settles in at 92, 93.
3-2 pitch, that's a miss. Good take by Talt, and the Beavers have a base runner here in the 9th.
That's a good at-bat by Talt right there, taking what he gave him, which is a walk. You're chasing base runners, you're chasing 3. Any kind of base runner you can get. Look, if the benefit of not having to swing right there, you could hit the best ball you hit all night, Brent, and it go right to somebody. And so a walk, you'll take them every time when you're chasing runs.
An offensive timeout here for the Beavers. Talt now heads to first base and to plate Trent Caraway. The tying run now on deck for Oregon State. High for ball 1.
They went ahead and went with a cutter that time to see if he would get a little better command of something different than his fastball.
After the walk of the last 2 pitches, you figure Caraway's taking here?
Man, yeah, you would think, but
he does and takes a strike.
Well, I think he'd have taken that anyway. That was a money pitch. I mean, you could throw 99 pitches just like that. It'd be hard on a lot of different hitters. Down and away, just barely clips the strike zone.
Fouled away to even the count. The 2-2. Swung on to right field and a base hit for Caraway. Talt on his way to third. Going to stop there. Caraway to second base, and here comes Oregon State.
Clutch hitting, nice piece of hitting. Elevated away, goes with it, doesn't try to do anything special. Oh, I love that. When you get a ball out away from you, 2 strikes, you're trying to stay alive. You just drill a ball down the right field line. That's a great approach with 2 strikes in a big moment.
And now the heavy hitters coming up for Oregon State. Iva Arquette coming up now for the Beavers. After that, Tice Peterson, then Gavin Turley. Turley homered back in the 8th inning. A visit here on the mound with Murphy.
Well, here's what you remind yourself. The 2 runners on base right now, they don't mean anything, right? They do in the score, but what means the most is that guy at home plate right now, right? You're protecting a 3-run lead. He represents a tying run. And so, you know, you're going to go out there, you remind them, hey, look, the other 2 guys, they are what they are at this point. The guy you're interested in is the hitter, because he represents a tying run. And so let's slow this thing down. Let's go back. Let's make quality pitches. And I tell you what, Oregon State does a really good job with, obviously, the hitting part of it, but their offensive side, coaching-wise, they use their offensive timeouts. They're talking about right now, hey, line drive, you cannot get doubled off, right? You cannot. Anything ball in dirt, you got to make sure on a ball in dirt that you can score, because your runs mean something, but they don't mean something. What does is the guy right now up the plate and the guy in the dugout possibly. And so just tell them to remind them to be careful as base runners.
Here's Arquette, 0 for 3 with a walk. Has homered 3 times this season. First pitch gets away from Irish. Talt's going to score, and the lead is down to 2.
Well, Cutter got above him. One of the hardest balls to catch for a catcher, Brandon's one above his mask. It was one he certainly could have caught, or possibly could have caught, but it's, again, at 96 miles an hour and above your mask, can be hard to handle.
2 balls and no strikes. Big moment here. Arquette keeps the bat on his shoulder and takes strike 1.
Now Snow's 3 steps away at third base, trying to protect that double down the line. I'll tell you what, each hitter, it's been heavy counts. I mean, he's behind, then he crawls back in the count, like that.
Full count to Arquette. Represents a tying run. And the pitch. Swung on, drilled to center, and that's down for a base hit. Caraway scores. It's a 1-run game.
Well, it's a great piece of hitting. 3-2, goes back up the middle, doesn't try to do too much, doesn't try to play hero ball and try to hit something out of the yard. Stays within himself. It's his first hit of the game. And again, they were playing no doubles in center field, meaning the center fielder was way back, and so he didn't have a chance to close on that ball and catch it. And we're going to see a pitching change.
That's going to be it for Murphy. The Tigers will go to the pen with the Beavers clawing back into the game. 2 runs in here, the 9th. The Tiger is on base, and Auburn going back to the bullpen. Here comes Jet Johnson, the first-year transfer from Texas A&M. The drama is building in Arlington. We're back after this on Flow College. Into the game now for Auburn, Jett Johnson, sophomore out of Knoxville, Tennessee, a first-year transfer from Texas A&M. 4 scoreless innings so far this year. Has given up just 1 hit, 4 strikeouts, 3 walks, and those 4 innings works. Comes into the game with Auburn clinging to a 1-run lead. The tying run is on base, and he'll face Tice Peterson with 1 out in the 9th inning. You know, we thought coming into this game this might be the game of the weekend, and right now it's living up to the hype.
Well, it is, yes. I mean, 2 great teams, 2 really good offensively as well, and defensively. I think both teams have played really good defensive baseball, but yeah, the offense, the athleticism. Now we got a 1-run game. Tying run at first. They go ahead at the plate.
First pitch is strike at a breaking ball from Johnson. Waiting on deck, Gavin Turley. Homered back in the 8th. Swing and a miss. Came back with another breaking ball. It's 0-2.
May go to a waist, elevate fastball, but when your first 2 pitches are sliders, that's a pretty good indication of what you want to throw and what you like to throw. And they're set up back out there on the outer half again.
0-2. Got him looking. 3 straight breaking balls there from Johnson, and the Tigers are out away.
Well, he got away with one. This ball's in the middle of the plate. I thought it was. When he go back, I don't know if we'll get another look at this. This slider backs up on him, and it looked like it landed in the middle part of the plate.
And here comes Gavin Turley. Tigers trying to hold on. Once led 8-3. Now 1-run game. 1 ball, no strikes.
First fastball we've seen, 96. All the other 3 pitches he threw before were sliders.
Foul tip strike. Got a piece of the slider from Johnson. Evens a count of 1-1.
Now Snow's deep enough at third. He's not right on top of the third baseline, but he's 2 steps away where he feels like he may be able to 1-step dive if he does pull a ball down the third baseline. Because then that would possibly bring in the tying run and put the go-ahead run at second base with a double. A lot of teams will just move their guys completely on the line. Everybody's different when you start talking about how you want to play late in the game. When you start hearing the word no doubles or take it away, don't take it away.
The 1-1. This is high. 2 balls, 1 strike.
I told you it's the most exciting inning in baseball. I mean, it just, you can feel, hear, sense the tension, the intensity.
And now the Beavers down to their final strike. What do you think he comes back with here, Ty? The slider again?
Yeah, I do. I think he goes back to the slider. That was a 2-seamer that ran in on Turley, but I think he goes out there with a slider.
2-2. Swung on, fly ball to center. Carter at the warning track makes a catch to end the game. Turley gave it a ride, not deep enough. And the Tigers survive to beat the Beavers 8-7.
Wow. He got an elevated slider, and it looked like when he first left the bat that it was had a chance, but he goes to the deepest part of the park. And you're right, Auburn hangs on to a lead in the 9th inning. And what a game. I mean, everything it was billed out that it was going to be became just that. We saw a lot of different power tonight. You can see that elevated slider. He thought for a brief second he might have got it. ballpark is the deepest part. Carter was able to run back. See the excitement. I love college. This is part of why you gotta love college baseball, right? The emotion behind it. Look at the bench. He'd think it was a conference championship. And that's what makes college baseball so beautiful and so special.
Now 9 wins in a row for the Auburn Tigers as they hold on to beat Oregon State 8-7. Our player of the game, Tigers freshman second baseman Chris Rembert. A big night tonight. A 2-run ground rule double and a 2-run homer. A 4 RBI night for Rembert. He joins us now. Chris, thanks for joining us. Take us back to your 2 big swings tonight, starting with that double. What'd you see?
I saw a curveball, and I just kept it simple and didn't try to do too much with it.
How about the excitement of the 3 freshmen sitting down at the bottom of this order and how you guys feed off? And again, the 3 of y'all doing such an unbelievable job. Tell us about the 3. That's 3 special freshmen down there.
It's awesome, man. Allowing us to be freshmen and just competing with each other and just winning or just doing our thing, you know, it's awesome.
Chris, now we see a replay of the home run you hit. What do you remember about that swing?
Kept it simple again. You know, I didn't try to do too much with it.
9 wins in a row for this ball club now. Just how much momentum are you playing with at this early stage of the season?
A lot of momentum, and we're just going to keep it going, keep it rolling.
Well, Chris, congratulations on the win. Big night for you. Big win for the Tigers as you win at 8-7. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, that again, our player of the game, Chris Rembert. A thriller tonight, won by Auburn 8-7 over Oregon State. What a game.
Yeah, I got to catch my breath. I mean, it was a great night, a great day of baseball. Both games, high tension in the 9th inning of both games today. Certainly this one in the end, and a lot of fun, a lot of offense, a lot of great emotion in college baseball.
Another doubleheader is on deck tomorrow. First up, Ohio State versus Oregon State, followed by Auburn against Baylor. We got that for you on Flow College tomorrow, starting at 11 a.m. Central. That'll wrap up our coverage tonight. Final score, Auburn 8, Oregon State 7.